I'm just going to point it out right now. This movie is not made for fans of the comics. Just know that going in. Captain Marvel is the latest movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Basically, it's just to introduce us to Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, and so you know her backstory and how she plays into Avengers Endgame. So basically, she is a Kree warrior. She doesn't know about her past. She is fighting the Skrulls so they don't go and take over Earth. That's about it. Just a quick warning, I'm gonna have a spoiler section in this video, so when that comes up, I'll put a timestamp so you can know what part to skip to if you don't want to see spoilers. So starting off in this movie, like I said in the beginning, this is not made for comic book fans. And I knew that going in, because Carol Danvers becoming Captain Marvel, she only became Captain Marvel in 2012. And her journey to becoming Captain Marvel is so long that to make her the first Captain Marvel in the movie, this story would make the most sense. So I accepted that going in, that it's not going to be 100% accurate, but I did not know how much they would change. So let me get into the performances. Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, she was fine. She's been getting a lot of crap recently for her performance. Some say she's wooden, some say she's not interested. Honestly, I didn't mind her, but I thought she was fine. I think she did the best with what she was given, because the writing feels a little off in this movie. If you look at the credits, there were 5 writers for this movie. Kind of feels like there were 5 writers in this movie, I'm not gonna lie. Other performances that go and stick out, honestly, the performances that stick out the most are Ben Mendelsohn as Talos, the general of the Skrulls in this movie, and Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury, but you knew he was gonna be great. He's Samuel Jackson, and Nick Fury. How is he not going to be good in this movie? One thing I liked in this movie is the CGI de-aging effect on Samuel Jackson and Clark Gregg as Phil Coulson. Those effects look really good. There was like one part with Clark Gregg that didn't look all that great, but usually with Samuel Jackson, I could not tell. Then again, Samuel Jackson looks pretty damn good for 70. Honestly, this movie's alright. I didn't really mind it. The special effects were kind of alright, but honestly with everything in space, we've seen space in more than a few movies, starting with Guardians and going into Infinity War. So we have an idea what the MCU is like in space. And the way it looks in this movie is no different. The only difference is the Kree world. That's the only thing we haven't seen, are the Kree. And honestly, this movie did start out pretty strong. She started out as pretty interesting, and the fight between her and Yon-Rogg, yes, unfortunately. Jude Law is not Mar-Vell, he's Yon-Rogg. The fight between them was actually pretty cool. They're talking, it's kind of like lazy exposition in some ways, but it was kind of cool. But once they get to Earth, it kind of slows down a lot. I found myself personally getting a little bored at some points. Usually when they were relying heavily on 90s nostalgia. Everything from grunge music, to the setting, to Radio Shack, to Blockbuster, to her 9 Inch Nails t-shirt. Seriously though, 9 Inch Nails in a Disney movie? Random! Another performance that stuck out was the girl who played her friend and the child who was her friend's daughter. They were actually really good. I liked them a lot. And of everything else, it's kind of a generic story. It's nothing new. And now for the spoilers section. Again, here's where you can skip to if you don't want to hear spoilers about the movie. Again, here's where you can skip to if you don't want to hear spoilers about the movie. Alright, apparently if you're here right now, you want to hear spoilers, or you just don't care. So, I'll put it this way, guys. My hopes for a Secret Invasion movie being the next thing after Infinity War? Gone. All gone. And why? Because the Skrulls are not the bad guys in this movie. It's the Kree. I'm sorry, that's just something you don't do to these characters. The Skrulls are evil, they're shapeshifters, they take over planets from the inside by infiltrating and disguising themselves. Basically everything that the Kree propaganda says they do in the movie. They're not these people who were victims of the Kree because they resisted their rule and now they're being hunted down to extinction. They're evil! In the comics, they're evil. See it this way, guys. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan, imagine they're doing a Lord of the Rings movie, and then there's the twist where instead of Sauron and the orcs being the bad guys, they're actually the good guys, and the rest of Middle-earth are bad. Or Harry Potter fans. Imagine they were doing another Harry Potter movie, and the twist is Voldemort and the Death Eaters are actually the good guys. You'd be a little pissed, wouldn't you? I get you're trying to do something different, but to sum it up, there are some things in here that you should not have changed. If they had just made both the Kree and Skrulls bad guys, but the Skrulls like especially bad guys, that would have been better. So she can be like, hey, no one's good in this war. And the other thing that annoyed me, the way Nick Fury loses his eye. Oh my god. A cat? A freaking cat is the reason he loses his eye? Granted, I know the cat is really an alien, so it's not really a cat, but it scratches his eye out while it still looks like a cat. And not like a big cat, I mean a domestic house cat. That's how he loses it? A cat just scratches it off? A cat just scratches it? That's where those 3 marks are from? Sorry that continuity doesn't matter in this movie, because back in Winter Soldier, Samuel Jackson said the last time he trusted somebody, he lost an eye. So wait, you trusted a cat? You trusted a cat? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, sorry to hit back to the comics, but in the comics, he loses his eye because of a hand grenade going off in front of him. Ugh. So yeah, those are my issues. I have other gripes with the movie, but those are the 2 that really annoyed me the most. And I'm sorry if I come off as angry comic book fan now, but, you know, there are just some things that you should not change. Going back to what I said about Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, if you change certain things in that, people would be a little mad. So overall, guys, my opinion of Captain Marvel, it was fine. It's not the greatest movie in the MCU, but it's not terrible. Better than Iron Man 2. So to be fair, I'm just going to give this movie a solid 6 to 7 out of 10 stars. This was kind of difficult to go and rate because there are things I liked and there are some things I really hate. So I'm leaving it at 6 to 7. And in case anyone's wondering, because people are going to ask this comparison, I know because family members of mine have asked, is this better than Wonder Woman? No. Wonder Woman is way better than this movie. I mean, Wonder Woman knocks this movie out of the ballpark. Do not go into this movie expecting it to be better than Wonder Woman. Alright, so there's my review of Captain Marvel. I hope you guys don't hate me for not loving this movie. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe and leave a like or leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the movie. As always, there are links to my Twitter and Instagram accounts in the description. And if you like what you see here, go ahead and subscribe. Alright, peace be with y'all. Have a nice day, and I will see you next time.